Hey guys, Helen Hartsmith here from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. I'm here with another video response for the 2017 YouTube Pagan Challenge. This is going to be for week 16. Today's question is, what other religions influence you or appeal to you? I would have to say for me, I have been influenced by quite a few religions just because, I've grown up in some different denominations and different faiths. So, of course, those influence me because they've helped me, to become the person that I am today. But I'm also influenced by religions in general. I like to think of myself as a lifelong learner. And so that means that I'm always looking to find out about things that I don't know about. I don't like to pigeonhole things. I don't like to say I am absolutely this or I am absolutely that. And I think that shows in the things that I choose to, learn about as I make my way through my path. So as far as specific religions that I've been exposed to in my life, I have a Christian background. I was baptized Methodist, and then I was confirmed Episcopalian and practiced the Episcopalian faith for many years from the time that I was, in the 5th grade. So that's right around 11, 12, I think, something along those lines. Up through high school years, I was a semi in college. Like I identified a little bit, and then I returned to that faith when I left college, and I was seeking, what was really my path. What did it really mean? So many years practicing Episcopalian. And for those of you who aren't maybe familiar with what Episcopalian is, we like to call it Catholic Light. It's very similar to Catholicism. Same prayers, things like that. The major differences are you have a weekly absolution of sin rather than going to confession. And there are no nuns in the Episcopalian faith. The priests are allowed to marry, and there's both female and male priests. So for me, those are like the big differences between Episcopalian and Catholicism. Other than that, there's a weekly Eucharist. A lot of the prayers are the same, the Nicene Creed, prayers for the people, different things like that. I was recently at a Catholic funeral, and oh my goodness, it was so much like turning back the pages and going back to the days when I was a practicing Episcopalian. And, those responses, you hear things, and by rote, you want to reply in the way that you grew up learning how to reply. And I think that Christianity influenced me I developed early on a knowledge and a need for spirituality in my life. I've always been a pretty spiritual person. I've always been pretty, when I do something, I jump in and want to do things. I taught Sunday school. I read passages from the Bible and things like that. I was an acolyte. So the little kids with the white robes, that was me, up at the front of the church. So I've always been moved by spiritualism. And so Christianity really is the foundation for me. It just happened to be that it wasn't enough. And so I sought more. While I was in college, I was exposed to Native American spiritualism, and that was my first foray into a pagan spiritual path. There is a bit of a little family rumor that my mother's father has Native American blood in him. And so that means that if I chose to practice Native American spirituality, while I might not be recognized enough by the government to make any difference, I could, in the spiritual eyes of the elders, I could. Now, I don't have any proof of that, but it was definitely influential for me because it opened me up to alternate paths of religion. And so I think that triggered in me a desire for something more. That was like that first opening of the door that took me to what eventually would be Wicca. I also was exposed to Presbyterian in a small way in college when I was the head cook at a Presbyterian youth camp for the summer. A friend of mine helped me get the job, and it was actually the summer before I left the city area, where I went to college and kind of came home. And so I was exposed there, but at that point I knew that I wasn't Christian anymore, and I knew that there was just something more, and so I felt very set aside from everybody else, because everybody that was there, they participated in things. There was evening campfire and sing along, and they'd been there before. A lot of them had grown up going to this camp, so they knew the songs, they knew all of the stuff. And so I felt very isolated at that time, and I think that gave me some perspective on things, to be that real outsider. And I learned, how to deal with myself and how to navigate being that outsider, and what does that mean for my relationships with my coworkers and the kids and things like that. And so that was definitely an eye-opening point in my life where I felt that, okay, yes, I'm different. I have different thoughts and feelings and desires from these people, but I don't dislike them for that. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm a part of it when I'm not. And I know in my heart that I'm not. And so, okay, because of those things, I'm okay living on the fringe, as it were. And so I think that really gave me some fortitude for the years to come, and what I'm looking at now, and where it puts me as an adult. So yes, definitely a very interesting summer in many ways. And then aside from Wicca, those are the different religions that I know and practice that have influenced my spiritual path. And then as far as other paths that I want to know about, I want to know about all forms of religion, because I think it's incredibly interesting to look for the things that make us similar. And so part of my exploration of other paths has been either in preparation for something, or because of classwork or homework or whatever. I taught a class in how to talk to people of other faith. And so I felt that I needed to know about the bigger religions that are out there. So I did personal research on Judaism and Islam and Buddhism and things like that. And of course, it's fascinating. It's amazing stuff. And I think that for me, I have a healthy respect for people's religious beliefs. And I know that there's this whole thing that you should never discuss religion or politics with people, but I think that that's not true. I think that having conversations is the first thing and the easiest thing that we as human beings can do with each other to learn about tolerism. I think that having those discussions are important for us because we see our differences and we see our similarities, which is way more important than the differences. And for someone who practices Wicca and sees a universal deity that shows itself to people in ways that they can understand, I think that that exposure is vital to me as a spiritual being. And that's part of the reason why I consider myself someone who is a continuous learner. I want to know. I want to know about, what this little tribe did. Or, I want to learn more about things like Sikhism that I haven't really had a chance to look at. I'm excited because one of my assignments this year for Witchcraft 5 is I need to do a paper on Taoism. And I've heard of Taoism before. I know that it comes from the East. That's about as far as my knowledge goes right now. And so I'm super excited that I got assigned a religion that I didn't know anything about. So guess what? That means that my knowledge gets to grow. And I feel that as human beings, it's our responsibility to learn more and to experience more. And so, yeah, I'm excited about that. So, okay, I could prattle on about this forever, but I'm going to stop this right now. So that is my response for the week 16 question. I hope that if you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, that you give it a thumbs up. We like thumbs ups because apparently they mean things here on Facebook or on Facebook, on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and comment. I'd like to know what influences your path. What religion do you want to know more about? Let's have a dialogue. Or if you've made a video response that you think I would jive with or whatever, link that down below too. I don't care. Link me something. So that's going to wrap it up for this time. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for walking the path for a little while with me. And until next time, blessed be.